One of the biggest obstacles for recreational players to move up another level is the inconsistency and instability of the backhand. If you want to move up in the rankings, ratings, and of course win more matches, your backhand has to be rock solid. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that, focusing especially on two details that I think anybody at any level can work on. The preparation is key. What you're putting in from the legs up is going to determine how well you're going to hit your backhand. And I think that's the biggest area where we can still make improvements. So the first thing is, how do you set up for your backhand? Regardless of whether it's a one-hander or a two-hander, you want to have a very wide and low base. And you want to really engage your back leg. So the key is, how do I get to a ball? Of course, if the ball comes straight at me here, it's good enough if I'm just taking one big stride into the ball here. And ideally what you want to achieve is a stance that's wider than your shoulders. If you're upright here, there's not a whole lot of energy that I can create from the ground up, because on the backhand, serves, volleys, forehands, everything, the energy comes from the ground up. Remember, kinetic chain. Long stride into it. That is your last step as you set up for the backhand. How do you get to the ball, though, when it's a little further out? Think big, small, big. To move to the ball, your first stride should be big. If you're starting with really small steps, you're not going to cover enough ground quickly. So to the ball, that is a big stride. However, you want to work in your adjustment steps so that your last step, again, is this longer and bigger stride. So big, small, big. Here's a weird example to illustrate what I mean by having a low and a wide base. Think about pushing something really heavy away. You wouldn't do this upright and with small steps. You're pushing something away by getting really low and getting your center of gravity low here. And you see what I'm doing here? I'm pushing off of my back leg. So whether I'm pushing something heavy away or I want to hit a backhand, kind of the same principle. So this is how I load my back leg. And I load it into a wide stride. If I'm just having a high step here, I'm not getting enough energy. So this is the key. Wider than shoulder width and low. And now I can go shopping. So you're trying to get your outside leg behind the ball and you can stride in when the ball sits a little bit more in the middle. However, how do I do all of that? How do I create the energy? How do I release the energy that I got with that wider stride when I'm being pulled laterally? I still heavily favor a closed stance. Yes, you can hit an open stance backhand, but since most of my videos are targeted towards recreational players, I'm still favoring the closed stance. However, you want to make sure that you're using your right leg, for me as a right-hander, again, whether it's a two-hander or one-hander, as a hinge. Let the energy that basically carries you to the ball spill over here. And oftentimes you'll see that low load and there's a lift. So I'm coming off the ground a little bit, and you want to notice what my right foot is doing here. As much as I can, I step towards the ball. If I can't, that's fine, because that lift here enables me to use my right foot as the pivot point. My left side is free to swing around because I'm not forcing myself to stay sideways. The other benefit of that hinge step is that now I'm balanced and I can use one crossover step to recover back to the center. What am I doing with all the energy now that I created by loading properly and not blocking my hip? Correct. You're not using it to hit harder. You're using it to create more topspin. Your backhand has to be reliable, and topspin will help you do that because you're clearing the net and the ball stays in play. You're not going to hit many winners at recreational level outright with your backhand. So I'm almost thinking, don't even attempt it. Yes, if you have a ball in mid-court, go for it. But if it's a rally ball at the baseline, topspin is the name of the game. So how can you increase your topspin? On the backhand. So if I wanted to hit a power backhand, it would be fairly flat. If I want to get more spin, my racket head needs to be under the ball a lot more, and I'm brushing up a lot heavier. And I'm actually going to show you me as a guinea pig with my two-hander, because that is very, very flat. I'm not a natural two-hander, so I'm going to show you how to work on the racket head drop by using me as a guinea pig. And the way that you want to do that is, yes, I know everybody hates it, tape yourself. Wow. Get a baseline footage basically, and do exactly what you're always doing on the backhand. So don't try to work on anything yet, because you want to have a before and after. Start out by simply shadow swinging. So that's your baseline. Then you're starting to work on letting the racket head drop a little bit more. And here's a tip. When you think you look like an absolute clown, something like this, because you're exaggerating it so much, in reality, you're probably just altering the swing a little bit, because that's just how our brain perceives something different. The next step is have somebody toss the ball to you. So again, you're not hitting with full speed. Ooh. I feel like I'm letting the racket head drop all the way to the ground. But when I'm now looking at it on video, I'm pretty sure I probably didn't do as much. But is it more than before? Yes, absolutely. Also, does it feel super awkward because I'm not a natural two-handed player? Yeah. Next step then is have somebody feed you, or you can go on the ball machine. Just hit a few balls. As you have taped them, look at them. 5, 6 balls. Recheck every 5, 6, 7, 8 points. That's how you get good repetitions in. Once you feel that your backhand is rock solid and you're just not missing, of course you can start to go for more power. And I'm going to show you how to do that in this video.